All right, greetings everyone. We are joined by Robert Doyle, who's going to talk a little bit about what we can see in the night sky going forward through the month of February and a little bit about the history of the month of February itself. So thank you for joining us, Robert, and
Sure.
go ahead and proceed.
Okay. I want to just mention how February is the shortest month, why the brighter planets are lost in the sun's glare, and the winter evening stars make a W in the sky. Okay. Why is February the shortest month? We have to go back to the Roman Empire when the Julian calendar was set up. After the death of Julius Caesar, an extra day was added to July in his honor. His successor was Augustus, so another day was added to August as well. These days were taken from February, the coldest and most miserable time of the year. February's name comes from February, purification rituals done then. The Romans realized the 365-day year was too short, so they added an extra day to February every fourth year. This scheme was in place for about 1600 years until it was realized that the start of spring had drifted back to March 10th. This was causing Easter, which is a seasonal feast, to come earlier in the calendar, approaching the fixed date of Christmas on December 25th. So in 1582, some surgery was done on the calendar by Pope Gregory XIII, chopping 11 days off in October of that year. And some landlords actually charged rent for those 11 days that didn't exist. Some countries accepted this change, but others refused until the 20th century. In February, the sun shines in Capricornus early in the month, then shifting into Aquarius later in the month. In mid-February, we have about 10 hours and 40 minutes of sunlight. In February 2021, the moon is prominent late in the month, approaching half full in the evening of the 19th. The evening before, the moon appears below the planet Mars. The moon grows to full on February 27th, appearing opposite the sun and shining all through the night. February 2021 has a scarcity of easily viewed bright planets, as both Jupiter and Venus are at too small an angle to the sun to be seen. By March, Jupiter will begin to emerge in the eastern dawn. It'll take another few months before Venus shines low in the western dusk. Mars will stay in evening view through early summer. February is the month when the winter evening stars are at their best in the south. The brightest stars form a giant letter W. From left to right, the stars are Procyon, the little dog star, Sirius, the big dog star, Betelgeuse in the middle of the W, Rigel of Orion, and Aldebaran at the end of the W. Go a little further to the right and you'll see the planet Mars. To see W, look between 8 and 10 p.m. on February evenings, facing south.
And one little interesting tidbit when it comes to meteorology about leap day, which happens every 4 years. We had a leap day, of course, in 2020. The next one will be in 2024. Is that meteorological winter is considered the three coldest months of the year, December, January, and February. So they always include that leap day in the meteorological calculations for winter, even though it only occurs once every 4 years, just to make things a little bit easier. But the Earth spins, or the revolution of the Earth, basically 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. So that's why we add that extra day. But according to what you just said there, there's not too much going on in the February sky, but there's a couple stars that you can see in the evening. And like you mentioned, between 8 and 10 p.m. would be the best viewing for those. And of course, the sun is setting a little bit later, but it's, of course, still pitch dark between 8 and 10 p.m. in the evening. So it'll be interesting to see that. Now, I do believe that is it Mercury that reaches its highest point in the morning sky later in February? Is that something that would be visible as well?
Mercury is pretty hard to see. In fact, one famous astronomer never saw it because of the fog near where he lived from the river, and that was
Oh,
Copernicus.
okay. Yeah, and we can get those foggy mornings every now and then in February, especially after the morning after a winter storm or something like that happens. So, all right, that's good to know. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast, and we'll look for what's going to happen, of course, in the March sky, night sky, or early morning sky once we get a little bit deeper into the month of February. That is. So, thanks so much for joining me.
Sure.